So I'm a spiritual counselor, and what I quickly realized after doing my first session with Akshata was that she was not only teaching me about food and how food is medicinal, but I was also learning how food can help me hone in on my spiritual intuition and my spiritual work, how it can amplify my spiritual work. So I was like blown away because I not only had this person who was teaching me how food is medicine, but also I have a mentor, a spiritual mentor in a sense, because we connected so deeply on that level. There was a lot of meditations that we did, and we did a lot of grounding work, and I brought up a lot of emotional, because as a spiritual counselor or any kind of healer or light worker, you're going to go through phases where a lot of things are going to come up from your past or your past life or just life in general, and you kind of don't know how to deal with it, and you're not sure like where it's coming from. And Akshata was so great when I would just tell her, hey, like this has come up for me. And she would have a remedy for it. And it had nothing to do with food. It was like, this is why it's coming up. This is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to get through it. And this is what you have to do to overcome what's happening right now.
Well, everything that I've gotten from the sessions has all been really realistic. We started really simple, with like recipes that I could implement. But in the beginning, the first thing that I was able to do in our initial consult was kind of tell you to like lay all of myself onto you, like what my situations were. I got the time to be able to talk to you so that you could come back to me the next time and use that, saying, okay, I've heard you, I hear you, and this is what I think in the beginning we should start you with, because it should be baby steps, because it can't be a lifestyle if it's just, here, you got to do all this stuff, tell me how you do. It needs to be little by little, because we have to be realistic with ourselves. And that's what I think that I liked and responded to the most, because I know that if I get hit with a bunch of things, I don't respond well, and I just kind of shut down like, oh, now I know what I need to do, and it's so much, and I'm not perfect, and I can't do it all. But with the way that you laid it out, I felt like I could, little by little, I can do this. Okay, I can do that. Now that I have grasped that and done that for a week, let me come back the next week and see what else she has, or if we're just building off of what we had the last time. So I felt that was really helpful for me.
It's very customized, very individual. And when people ask me questions about it, I have to tell them, it's completely dependent on who you are, your body type, your personality. There's so many things that go into it. It's very custom. And Akshata does an amazing job of just seeing I feel like she sees who I am. She sees my specific needs, and she's able to meet those needs and guide me in every aspect, not just the diet, which, as she says, it's not just diet. Ayurveda is not just diet. It's a lifestyle change. It's spiritual. There are a lot of other things, and that is different for everyone. And she recognizes that, and again, teaches or coaches or consults to me as an individual and my specific needs. And I have found that to be just amazing. I've really appreciated that, and it's been really helpful. Okay, that's what I wanted to say about you.
Thank you. See, when it comes from your heart, it's priceless, It's just like, I'm so proud. Oh, you guys are doing so good. I'm like, it feels like, oh, my sister, or maybe, it's just like a feeling of a mother when the kid is doing so good. That's the feeling you get, It's like, oh, they're doing so good.
If I were to rate Akshata's level of knowledge in Ayurveda, it would be like 10, like 10 plus, all the way up there, 20. Like, there's really very few people in the world. I mean, I've been around like spiritual communities for a very long time, and I've never come across anyone who knows as much about Ayurveda as Akshata does in the Western world, like in New York City, in Brooklyn, New York, like doesn't exist. So people think they know about it, but they really don't. She is really very knowledgeable in what there's also a passion to Akshata's approach. Like, you could really feel Akshata's passion for this work and for her willingness and wantingness to help a person really find balance in life. There's just such a passion there that like emanates from her pores. Like, she just wants to help you. She wants to be there for you, mind, body, and soul. And it's so important to have that passion for food and that passion for helping people find liberation.
First, it was kind of a little bit of like some tough love, which I needed. Being a kapha, I need a little bit more tough love than like, oh, it's okay. So after she was like, you know, this doesn't just happen to only you. This happens to everyone. And, you know, you can't think that, you know, poor me because I'm the only one. But then past that, it was like, okay, it was like in steps. It was from that, like, okay, it's not just you. And then it was on to how can we do better? And not just like, how can we do better? Not like a cheerleader, like, what way can I support you now? And so it was just really simple things. It wasn't like, well, you know, it seems like you haven't done well in your eating. Oh, you got to do better. It was more like, it seems obviously like this is mental and this could be spiritual. So why don't you try doing something, in my case, which was visualizing. So even though these things are about balancing your dosha, and it does start with food, it's not solely based on food because it is holistic.
I have a lot of people ask me about this program, especially when they see the weird things I'm making, the herbs and the drinks and the tea the CCF tea that we actually cook. And the different foods I'm taking on the plane, and things that I have cut out. No one can believe I'm not eating chocolate anymore. Well, a little tiny bit once in a while, or drinking coffee. So I get a lot of people asking me questions about Ayurveda and what's this about and what is this program and what can I do? And I encourage them to speak to somebody in person, and that Akshata is amazing because she, again, like I've said, she customizes it. It's different for everyone. And I can't give them the answers of what they need to do. I can tell them what I'm doing, and talk about the different doshas and the things that I've learned. But to have a one-on-one consultation and somebody guiding you and coaching you and encouraging you along the way on a weekly basis, nothing can replace that. That I feel like is integral. It's necessary. And so I would 100%, and I do 100% encourage people who have asked me to look into the program and to look into doing consultation with Akshata, because it's already changed a lot in my life. I know it's going to continue. This is a lifelong journey. This is not a A to Z program, then you're done. So I actually would like to continue more learning in different areas with Akshata as different parts of some of the programs she offers. And I'm absolutely encouraging my friends and the people that ask me to pursue, or to at least look into an initial consultation with Akshata, just to see what she has to say and see how they feel. Because I had an immediate connection. I know I can sense her authenticity, and I trusted her from the get-go, and I just found that to be my gut to be right, because it's gone really well. And I look forward to our meetings every week. So I wish they could be more often.